Okay, let's take a quick look at the answers to Pear Deck. It does not allow me to give individual responses to you, so since we're not at school, this is probably my quickest, easiest way to do this. If you need to go look at what you did on yours, maybe take a quick look at your own before we go over this. Otherwise, let's take a look at what we should have done. Draw or type 2 things you know about lines and polygons. Most of you did just fine here. You could have said something about these are parallel lines and these are perpendicular. Some of you drew shapes in and you said that is a pentagon, or maybe you said this is a right angle, or this is acute, or this is obtuse. Whoa, that's a bad obtuse, but you know my point. So all kinds of correct answers there. You did just fine on that one. Here, which have parallel sides. Parallel remember that they run side by side, never touch. They could go on and on forever and never touch. So these two sides are parallel, but that one actually has 2 sets of parallel sides because these 2 are also parallel. Over here, we have kind of the same thing going on, only these would eventually intersect. So those are not parallel. Some of you got a little confused on that one. So this one just has this and this, just that one pair. Down here with the triangle, no parallel sides, and on the pentagon, no parallel sides. The next one was a little trickier than I thought it was going to be. So most of you did not read these directions. There's that, and then in the yellow box, and a lot of you did all the same color here and left this blank. So what I would have preferred you to do, what I would have been delighted for you to do, is show the different sets of parallel sides. So remember again, parallel side by side, they never touch. So this is parallel to this, and it's also parallel to this. Some of you did that as 2 separate. You said this is parallel to this, and then this is parallel to this. That's okay if you did that, but know that parallel sides can have more than just 2 lines there. And then we also had the same thing happen. This is parallel to this, which is parallel to this. And again, remember that a line couldn't go on and on and on and on. So even though this ends, the line itself is still parallel to that. Now, if you did it this way, there are 2 sets of parallel sides. But most of you counted this is 1 set, and then this is 1 set, this is 1 set, and this is 1 set. So most of you said 4, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You were not incorrect at all. How many line segments are needed to make A? I don't think anybody missed this one. That's 3. We have 1, 2, and 3. Blah, blah. I was looking for my other pen. That's okay though. How many angles are there? This one was a little more confusing for some of you. Here's 1 angle. There's a nice acute angle, so there's 1. And then here's an acute angle. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. And there's 5. A lot of you left out those 2 obtuse angles there. Are any perpendicular? Remember that perpendicular means it makes a right angle. And we don't have any right angles here. So no perpendicular angles in the letter A. Are they acute, obtuse, or right? Well, what I wanted you to do was tell me what these angles were like. So I know that they're going to be acute, obtuse, or right. All angles are either acute, obtuse, or right. Some of you just said yes, and you needed to be specific. So here I have this acute angle. That's an acute angle. And that's an acute angle. So I have 3 acute angles. And then I have 2 obtuse angles. And I don't have any right angles. And then are any parallel. And again, parallel means they run side by side forever. They're never going to touch. So I don't have any parallel line segments there. The alphabet. This one, for the most part, you got fine. Some of you, I don't know why, a lot of you, not most of you, but a lot of you are confused about that A. The A does not have any parallel sides. It doesn't have any perpendicular sides. It's just 3 line segments. That's all. Whoops, I thought I clicked the eraser. So I'm going to just color code these. So the lines with parallel sides, let's make those this reddish color. No parallel sides there. This one, if I'm just looking at those segments, I do have parallels. Nothing in C. D, it depends what you're looking at. If you're just looking at the little bit of line segment there, I can call those parallel. E is full of parallels. So is F. H, M, the sides are parallel. The same thing with N. OP, same thing. If you were just looking at the little line segment here before we turned that into an arc, we could call that parallel. We could do that with the R2. I could say that little piece is parallel to this. The thing though with this type, you have to know that you're only looking at the line segment. Once that line segment joins in to become a curve, then that doesn't work anymore. No parallel. The sides of the U are parallel. Again, get it before that curve though. Nothing in V. W, watch this. It's a little tricky, but it's kind of fun. This side is actually parallel to that side. And this is parallel to this. So it actually is parallel. These are not parallel. These are not parallel. And the Z is parallel. Then for which have perpendicular line segments, let's make that one blue. And perpendicular again means that it forms that right angle. If you're looking just at this part of the B, those do make right angles. Same thing with our D. E is easy to see perpendicular. Same with F. In G, we have a little tiny perpendicular one right there. H has 2 perpendicular angles. K does not have any. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, none of them. T has 2. And that's it for perpendiculars. And then this one says which has no line segments. That means it has to be curvy. So A doesn't fit any of these. It's not, it has line segments, but it's not parallel or perpendicular. C has no line segments. I is a line segment. A lot of you said I didn't have any. J, it depends how you, if you marked it and said, well, that's a segment and then a curve, I kind of consider J as just being a curved line. K and L are both just segments. And you know what? I missed L for perpendicular. That's like a perfect perpendicular. O, sorry about my dog there in the background. O has no line segments. Q has that little guy, so we're not going to mark Q off. S is curved. U, I call it a curve, but remember I said up here, if you called these perpendicular segments, we could get away with that. And then the rest are all just segments. Draw a polygon that has both parallel and perpendiculars. Most of you did the obvious, a rectangle or a square. Those are certainly not our only choices. We could have done some kind of a trapezoid. But you could have done any number of designs here. There's perpendicular, and then I could come all the way down here, something like that. I've got parallel, and I've got perpendicular. And then in the space below, use what you've learned about polygons. Most of you did just fine here. Oh gosh, it's a pentagon. It has two parallel lines. It has two sets of perpendicular angles. It's got right angles, obtuse angles, one acute angle. It's got 5 vertices. That's what you think of as the corners. 5 vertices, 5 sides. It is irregular. I think somebody mentioned that. So a lot of different correct answers there. And I think everybody did just fine on there. You could say it has 1 line of symmetry. I don't think anybody did say that, but that'd be a good answer. And then how well did you like this lesson? Most of you put it somewhere in there, so that made me happy. If you do not understand or you got some wrong and you're not sure why, reach out and let me know, and I will get on with you somehow and we can chat through it. Thanks, guys. I miss you very much.